Happy Friday, all. We are live Friday night. Luckily, I have desktop audio muted. We had a very intense, cerebral conversation going on. But now I will take it off the mute. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Gray, Zeph, Dar, Merrick, how are we doing?
Hello.
I know it's always tough at the end of a long week to be super bubbly, especially if we're going to be putting our toes into some dark waters tonight. That's for sure. Going to be
I'm always
resolving.
delightfully bubbly.
We're going to be resolving some interesting story arcs for one of our players tonight, and we'll do a recap here shortly. But Gray, tell us about your projects these days, please.
Oh boy. Hey guys, I think that tonight's going to be really light and fun and easy and not upsetting in the least. And I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm just going to manifest what I want into the universe, see what happens. But my project outside of this, a little podcast called Umbilical del Diablo. It's actually really funny that we were talking about how hard it is to be bubbly because I'm also getting a text right now in our group chat because Sam is editing the next episode. And she's just pointing out all the sad things that happen that are fine in that episode. And then you get to the end and you're, in retrospect, they're very sad. So, fun. That is a Mage the Ascension 5th edition podcast. You can find that basically wherever you can find podcasts.
Nice. Thanks, Ray. Hey, Ivar, what you got going on with Dark Sun, or not Dark Designs?
Absolutely nothing.
Just cookies and milk?
Yeah. No, I got some tendonitis. I haven't been able to do any new artwork. So what's up there is what's up there.
Gotcha. For those of you who may not know, Ivar makes armor for our SCA community that does historical reenactment. And when he's not building armor, Gray is swatting flies, I think.
Correct.
And Merrick comes all the way from Rio de Janeiro tonight. He is one of our long distance players. We're hoping to have a camera for him by the end of the year, so you can see his lovely, lovely face. He's also a musician. Merrick, talk about some of the things that you do.
Hi guys. We have just released a couple clips at Jimmy and Rat. Jimmy Rat. Jimmy as the name, Rats as the beautiful, lovely little animals, and it's like a Celtic punk rock pastiche from Brazil. We sing in Portuguese. We put some country influence, and yeah, take a look.
Very cool.
We have a song called Any Bonnie about the pirate. That is easy one to find.
I want the link to that.
Cool. I'll post it.
Yeah, drop that in chat. The Discord chat, I believe, would be more efficient. And then I can add it later to the abouts. And we drew our winners today for our weekly dice and miniatures. So join our Discord. Once a week, we give away dice and minis for our dice goblins and our future storytellers. I know not many of us are doing live games, but some of us are. We have a one-shot coming up here pretty soon for a Sunday. We'll be in studio. I think we're doing it September 12th. And that's to replace one of our Debtor's Gambit episodes. We have shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every other Thursday. Tonight, Age of Arcanum. Sunday, Debtor's Gambit. So there's always something new to watch, something different to watch. Lots of different campaigns going on. So everything you need to know about us is down below. All of our links are down below. We're on all the podcasts that you, if you're more interested in just listening to us play, go hit up our podcasts. We're all almost completely caught up across all of our podcast platforms. Also, come join our Discord. We are a teach and learn community where we're always teaching, playing, reminding folks just how fun it is to play a game. So, with that, let's do a bit of a deeper recap as well. We missed last Friday for Mental Health Day, which I'm glad to see our folks are doing better today. And it's okay to do that because you know why? Our brains are important and we need to take care of them. So let's go back to after Harrow had left, the team began to decide what to do next. After being introduced to Merrick, a fractured memory of Harrow's pre-existence, being brought back into a semi-corporeal form, the team had decided to take a look outside of the tower and see what was going on. They discovered a group of dragonborn that had begun to harvest a large sandworm. These particular dragonborn are from the Western Wastes and are Gregor's men from the slave capital of Wyndham. The team managed to free and rescue some individuals that were taken captive. They also managed to get themselves a mode of transportation to a certain degree. However, during this conflict, once again, the cursed item in Gray's possession, well, they really went deep this time. They were incredibly successful in battle. They completely lost control while in battle. They began to self-reflect while encamped and discussing what to do next, the possible approaches to the Femur Valley, possible approaches to other routes to take. Gray decided, for the benefit of the team, to leave and seek solace elsewhere. And this is where we last left off. Dara, Merrick, and Zephora, you've discovered the sleeping area of Gray and discovered that all of her possessions have been taken. And there are merely 2 notes, I believe, Gray, that you pinned and left behind for them to find. The first note had already been read. The second note, however, was addressed directly to Dara. Dara, you lean over, you pick up this second note, and you begin to read. Right. What is she reading?
Oh, God. Kicking it straight off, huh? Dara, I think I have a pattern of hurting people close to me, and I don't want you to become part of that pattern. I need to know who that woman was, to know what part I had and what happened to her before I could ever open my heart to somebody else. You are strong, you are brave, you're beautiful, and you deserve much more than myself. That's it.
With that, Merrick, Dara, and Zephora, you're standing among the makeshift campsite that you've constructed out here on the Worm Wastes. Your new survivors and freed individuals have kind of done what they've always done. They're surviving. They're recovering from their capture. The 3 of you are there. There is an obvious trail heading out into the deep wastes. What would the 3 of you like to do?
Start walking
Well-
down the trail.
Should it be noted that the other note, because it wasn't mentioned in the recap, specifically said, "Do not follow me"?
Yeah, it did
Yeah,
say
that's
that.
okay.
Okay, go.
I mean, it also doesn't mean we're gonna listen, but we should probably just
Yeah, no, but I'm just
This
as a reminder because it has been 2 weeks.
this note says, "Don't follow her."
Yes, but they're being ridiculous. Of course, we're gonna follow them. Like, would we just let them leave?
Well, no, I think we should go look for them, but we have to deal with that dagger. I'm tired of being threatened and stabbed all the time. So we're gonna
Yes.
have to deal with that.
Yes. That was the idea, hoping to get the dagger away.
And forever. So however we need to do that.
Connected to them. I guess we need to figure out how to break that connection. I wish we had Hera with us.
Well, let's follow the
Harrow.
trail before it gets cold.
Yes.
So we'll attempt to follow the trail.
Yeah, I want to tell the people that we rescued that change in plans, and because I mean we did just say that they could come with us over to Femur Valley.
One of the more kind of ones that seemed in charge, he walks over and he goes, "We'll wait here for you. That's the least we could do. I'm sorry about your friend. Good luck. I hope you find them.
Thank you.
Is there anything we can do while you're gone?"
Okay, did we have out of character? Did we have like meat or like hides or like other stuff?
I mean,
That was
you
still being
basically had
broken down.
captured everything that the Dragonborn Rangers and slavers had acquired over months of being out in the wastes during the harvesting season. You have quite a bit of equipment now.
Okay.
Hides, bones.
We have a lot of things that need to be cataloged and dispersed for everybody. If you want to work on the most fair way to do it, anything you think you and your people can use, anything that you don't want to use or can't use that we might be able to use, if you would mind setting it aside. There's a lot of meat that can be dried, a lot of hides that can be tanned in the time while we're gone.
We can do that. How long do you think you might be gone?
I don't know. I don't know how far they've gotten. We can still see the trail pretty well. I mean, I can't imagine it'll take more than a few days, if that. I'm not sure. It depends on what happens as we go along, I suppose.
We are in the last days of the season of light. The season of heat will be here soon. The weather will turn in the wastes. If we do not reach Femur Valley in the next few days, things will become more difficult.
I know, and that's really why we need to go get them. They can't be out here either. If you need to leave, please leave. Put your safety first.
Understood.
Why don't we set this? We will be back in the morning. If we're not back in the morning, make your way toward the valley. We'll catch up with you.
That sounds fair. We should do what we can. We will prep the equipment, prep the sled. We're not particularly proficient at most of these things, but we will do what we can do to help. It's the least we can offer for what you've done for us. And he just kind of tilts his head in the three of your direction and turns back towards the encampment of the others. The three of you go ahead and give me survival checks, please.
I'm good at this. Watch, I'll jinx it now.
I got a 12.
12. Okay.
18.
18. Merrick?
I'm making the text. I'm taking it. It's a +1, so I don't expect much. It's a 16.
16. As a group, you notice that the raptor prints leading outbound, because they did leave on their raptor, but no real attempt at hiding the trail. The weather, while still always warm at night, even among the south wastes, there's no real disturbance in the air at this point. The trail's clear. It crisscrosses the broken and rotted ground and the sand dunes, and you begin your first hour of following it.
Oh wait, we have raptors too, right? Or did
Correct.
they all die?
Nope, you each have raptors as well.
Okay. We're taking said raptors. I don't know if that had to be clarified
Okay.
to catch up quickly.
Okay. So you guys mount your raptors. The three of you go ahead and give me animal handling, please.
$11.
I got an 8.
A 3.
Oh, God.
We are not good at the raptor handling.
I'm not very good at this, so let me see. What
Guys,
can do.
I have to be careful. I'm at 14 hit points.
Oh, yeah, I'm down too. I have
If I
no
get beat
spells.
by a raptor, it's over.
Oh yeah, resting. That would have been a thing to do.
That would have been good, but
No time.
As you guys disappear into the wastes to try to track down Gray, the very first thing you notice is a bit of squeal from both Zafar and Merrick as they fall off their mounts, manage to recover and get back on, but this will be time lost. It will not be easy traveling. These raptors seem stubborn and difficult, but you disappear into the horizon, making the best time that you can. Gray.
Hi.
As staring at your own body on the ground is somewhat odd for you. Odd in the sense that you know you self-inflicted that wound. Whether or not the intent was purposeful or not, you're not sure. But after the self-infliction of the wound, but with the cursed dagger, the silhouette of a small girl standing beside you. She never really takes form. Her long, thin hair covering the very thin frame of a small child. There's something strangely familiar about her. What it is, you're not exactly sure. But Ivar is really good at breaking my concentration. There's definitely a familiarity to the face, the features, the eyes, the sallowed look. The thing that catches you most off guard is the strange cloud that is swirling about her form. Hey, thanks, Dubtac, for the subscription. I really appreciate that. It's like it's attached to her. And it weaves in and out, pulses. There's a glimmer of just pure hatred in the attachment to her, this symbiote, this vapor that is emanating from her form. The small child looks up at you with a hollow face, hollow features. Give me a history check.
That's going to go well. Solid. 9.
9. She's familiar, but you don't remember from where. It's recent. It's you don't know why, but she looks familiar. But she herself is not, as much as just her features look familiar to you. She just stands there and she points off to the side. The world around you just coalesces and you're standing amongst trees in a small park. The coolness of a rainfall is falling around you, which is a bizarre sensation. You've not seen rain ever in your life, but you must imagine this is what it meant when the lore speakers have talked about rain. As you drift into this vision and you watch her hand point, see a man and a woman carrying a small bundle in their hand. They seem very happy. There's a crowd awaiting their appearance. Next thing you know, you're standing and looking out upon a massive city. Thousands of individuals below, staring up, cheering at this amazing approach of this couple and child. Meanwhile, a small child hides, staring, emanating confusion, anger, despair. The hollowed vision looks back up at you with a wicked kind of toothy smile. I was happy once. Feel yourself pulled towards another vision. The toddler is learning to walk. Meanders out into a parkscape, unattended. As toddlers do sometimes. They avoid guidance. They avoid people's ability to keep an eye on them. As toddler drifts, the hand points to the same child hiding. The hidden child comes running out of their spot, recognizing the old well cover that is still on the well, moves it quickly, and then runs off. You watch as the toddler falls in. You watch from the depths of a hidden space this young child crying and weeping. You then see that same symbiotic vapor, that darkness, pulse around her, kind of settle into her actual physicality, just settles into her. She stops crying, nods her head. At this point, the vision shifts to a funeral. The toddler is being buried. The mother and father weep in full spectacle of the crowd that have gathered here. As they weep, give me another history check. Dara, Merrick, Sephora, give me survival checks, please.
Same die, same number. 9.
And
Finally.
struggling.
Something
This looks
seems-
familiar. Why can't I remember who this is? But they look so familiar.
I got 24.
Okay. The vision is clearly of a different time and a different space. Merrick, Dara, what'd you get for survival?
4.
Okay.
Oh, an additional one?
Yep.
Oh. 24.
24. You nearly lose sight of the tracks, but you refocus and you stay focused. And you stay up and you manage to stare back onto the tracks as you're being taken deeper into the wastes. Gray, they look at these faces, at this vision, at this everything that's happening. This is clearly from a time long ago. Long ago. The vision changes yet again. There's a very sad mother, a very disgruntled father. There is somebody in very dark crimson and blackened robes pointing at the child and yelling quite violently, chastising, convincing the two in front of them in regards to what had happened. This child just looks with no emotion at the accuser, at the parentage, and then the hollowed face looking up at you and goes, I was good. Once the vision cracks, comes apart, disassembles. The full confinement of your space is revealed to you. Huge, darkened manifestations drift in and out of your vision. Creatures struggling, wailing, suffering their existence all about you. You can feel the sense of loss, the sense of angst, the hate boiling from this place. Then the vision reassembles yet again, and the hollowed face looks at you. But at least I was clever. You're in a smithy. The small child, the symbiotic vapor coalescing around it, watches as very aged hands are forming a small dagger. Dagger is formed and then handed to the small child. The small child begins to mutter a ritual to themselves and proceeds to kill the smithy. You watch as it draws the heart out of the chest of the smithy, takes a bite from it, and then plunges the dagger into her own chest. You watch as the coalescent, vaporized energy mutates out and into the dagger that falls onto the ground. The hollowed face looks at you yet again. These are the choices that we make. I made my choice. And as you stare at that hollowed face, the symbiotic energy pulses about it, hesitates at you.
Why?
Only boys get to be leaders. Only boys get to rule the kingdom. So I did the next best thing. I took the whole thing away. And you watch she points at another forming vision. This time, your memory clicks in as the visual representation of the gates cannot possibly be avoided. It's the city of Arcanum. It's Lord Arcanum's city. The vision takes you through the gates, and on the opposite side, you watch as a lone guard on this reverse side of these gates wears a familiar looking dagger. There's a vapor coalescing around this guard as he purposely leaves the gate unbarred and unlatched. He goes over and unlocks a grate in the ground. He then walks over to the other 5 guards and begins to give them something to drink, each one keeling over from poison and death. The guard then walks over to the huge gates, begins to open them just slightly, as hundreds of followers of Telona begin to arrive. This reminding you of your vision some time ago at the fall of the Lord's city. Then, an image of the guard being roughly handled by one of the bodyguards of Lord Arcanum deep in the vault. He is killed by the bodyguard and thrown into the corner of the vault. The hollowed face looks up at you. But you found me. I can certainly give you what she has given me. Doesn't cost much. I mean, it's just a soul. No one really cares.
And what would you have me do with that?
I am not entirely sure that your point is taken. I am offering you the ability to change your fate, like mine. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the head of the seat of Titan's Fall? Who wouldn't want to lead and wield all of that power? Certainly, it must sound inviting.
True, though that is a lot of responsibility, and I feel like a lot more people would be trying to kill me at that point.
Death is only a problem while you're alive. I offer you the ability to not have to worry about being alive or dead.
And if I say no,
You watch as the vapor pulls itself out of the hollow child and it coalesces above it, and its mouth just opens up in like a large toothless maw. No one has ever said no to me.
I had a feeling it was probably one of those kinds of deals.
Give me a wisdom save, Gray.
Oh boy.
Feel tendrils probing your gray matter. You can feel your brain just on fire with pain and confusion. But then, as if an unintended consequence of whatever this thing is and what it's doing, a layer of fog is pulled back. And there's Kellen. She and you are locked in the most amazing embrace, and it triggers a flood of senses of taste, smell, just the power of love finds its way back into your senses. You watch as the symbiotic vapor just coils back and it kind of touches and scrapes by you. The hollowed face steps up into yours. What is that? What is that I feel?
And I remember things.
You're beginning to remember some things.
That would be Callan.
Why do you still have hope? What? Is that what love is?
I think that love comes in many different forms, and she was one of them. I think that love is a hand on a shoulder at the end of a hard day. I think that love is jumping in the way of an incoming fireball to save somebody you care about. I think love is diving into some muck when somebody is drowning in it.
Symbiote recoils at your words. She lies. She lies. She's weak. They don't know what they want. Ignorant of power. You know power. You destroyed a kingdom because they ignored you and didn't show you love. What does this person know of love? It's weak.
Does
Symbiote.
this entity show you love?
This entity is
Or does it
giving me...
replace that with power?
Is there a difference?
There is. You can't love somebody unless you're vulnerable to them. You can't love somebody sitting on a throne above their heads.
You watch as the hollowed face turns to look at the vaporish kind of cloud floating nearby. Then it looks back to you. Show me. Show me what you think love is. And the hollowed hand reaches out and grabs your wrist and peels the rest of your memory back. This old man had come to Ironwood for years. Had made his acquaintance to both you and Callan quite well known, and enjoyed the friendship and passion that you shared with each other. And this lore giver, this lore teller, would often regale the two of you with the understanding of the founding of the Ironwood, how Drow and High Elf became a nation in order to survive. Many years go by. The peak of their love for Callan, this particular lore giver, had fallen out of favor with those that take the vision oath. In the defense of this lore giver during his trial, to fall out of favor with the vision givers is to be put to death. Only you and Callan were there to defend this man. All others abandoned him. It spoke the truth of the founding of the Ironwood, as well as what it takes to bring it back to what it was once before. There in this council meeting, this man turns, looks at the two of you, and looks at the council. I believe we have lost our way. I believe this council murders the innocent to protect a reality that doesn't exist. For that reason, I grant one last favor. The man steps over to you, Gray, places his hand under your chin, and looks at you and says, I will not let them take another life to support their lies. Know this, Callan loves you deeply. I love you deeply, and I do this willingly. You watch as he thrusts a vision dagger into his chest, collapses at your feet, and you feel a kind of like geese-like sensation pour from the old man's body into yours. With this, one of the Vision Council leaders steps up, runs in your direction, looks at the still form, looks at you. I will not have this. And he places his hand on your forehead, wiping your memory. Your last memory of you, Callan, about to hover and do what you can for this old man. And then the vision curls, falls apart, fractures. The hollowed face just looks up at you Give me a perception check really quick.
Middle of the road, 16.
There is confusion. There is dissonance. The vapor now coalescing around the child's body distorts and glitches. Seems concerned. And the hollowed face looks at you and goes, "How do you think he saved your life? What did he mean by that?"
I think maybe he was trying to stop me from going on a vision quest and being lost to the world. Because in doing that, you die temporarily, in theory, if you're chosen, and then you come back. I'd have to assume it's that.
Is that where you got that other smile on your neck?
If that's what you want to call it.
Merrick, Sephora, and Dara, deeper into the waste you travel, deeper and deeper. Eventually, you see a raptor just standing perfectly still over a form that is lying on the ground. It's too dark, it's hard to tell. A few hundred feet in front of you. What do the three of you do?
Run over to it.
Dara, you race towards the collapsed form. American Sephora, what do you do?
I'm gonna ride over. I'm gonna keep a lookout, see if there might be any dangers nearby.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, Sephora. Merrick, what do you do?
I'll watch from afar, and I don't think this is much of my concern. I am focused on my mission towards the thing that is keeping me alive, and I'm really weak, and the priority for me is to be safe.
So you want to take a short rest while...
Well,
It's up to you.
I'll do that.
Okay. So
I'll do
Dara,
that.
you watch as Merrick, injured, struggling, stay on his feet, gets off the raptor. He begins to kind of rest nearby, keeping a cautious eye on you and out. Sephora, what'd you get for your perception check?
I got a 14. It's not the best in the world.
Not the best place to be out in the warm wastes. But fortunately, the quiet is on your side. Way off in the distance, you can hear the telltale screech of a waste worm breaching and then going back underneath the sand. But it's far.
Okay.
Dara, you're now hovering over a now cold and lifeless form of Gray, lying in a pool of their own coagulated blood. There is a look of shock on their face, and the dagger is buried deep in their sternum. They are not breathing. They are cold and already stiff with rigor mortis.
No, no. Why? She's just overcome and just freaking out, like desperately trying to feel a pulse, going through all the things, knowing that it's like this is clearly a dead body, like probably getting the coagulated blood like all over her, and like just wait, like yelling no, and then just will sit there and just stare, kind of like eyes glazed, just staring at the body.
Gray, You sense a victory here. The small child is confused. You are giving it emotions it has never experienced before in well over a millennia. Symbiote vapor is panicking around it, confused. The tendrils of energy from its influence attempt once again to bristle back into you. Give me another wisdom save, please.
Not as good. 15.
15. You feel a part of you fall away as you lose a point of constitution. A piece of your soul has been gently nibbled away from its core. That sense of being trapped and forced to stay here settles in a bit more. The small, hollowed face looks at you again and goes, "Do you love her?"
I assume she's referring to Callan.
As far as you can tell.
Very, very much so. And now that I know that she exists, I have to find her. Look, if what you need is love, I can give that to you. This creature can't. This creature has twisted you into something that you were never intended to be. It's hurt you. You're reaching.
Look at
You're
its
reaching out
eyes.
for
It
something.
lies. It lies.
You're reaching out for something, and what found you was pain and tragedy and awful, awful things. And you were obviously reaching out for affection and tenderness and an answer to your vulnerability. And this thing has taken advantage of you.
The vapor coalesces a little bit more. It bubbles in size and then shrinks again. It curls around the small child's face. You see tendrils of fingers caressing its cheek and its chin. Let me show you what it thinks of love. The
Before
vision.
it can touch her face,
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out and attempt to dispel magic
At what level?
on this thing. 3rd. So I'm gonna have to roll for it regardless.
As you reach out to try to conduct the magic, something unique happens. There's a small light that comes from the attempt. There's just a pulse of light. And you watch as the symbiote kind of curls away from it. And it's impossible. She cannot be here. And you watch as it moves away from it. The thin tendrils of fingers attempt to touch the light. It just repulses it back. Its hand curls inward. I've beaten you before. I can do it again. And you feel a soft, familiar voice from your vision quest. That glimmer of light. As your attempt at casting a spell opened a temporary conduit to her. This temporary life rope, if you want to call it that. She pulses for a moment. I remember my failings, but I will not have you take one of my chosen from me. You may have destroyed this small child's life. You may think that 1,000,000 years of your hate and your fear and your chaos is meant for this, my world. But bitch, she has let me back in, and even now your host falters. Your host, for the first time in 1,000 years, understands love, understands hope, understands that life is not to be destroyed at the whim of a god. The light pulses out bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter, crashing into the vaporous symbiote and just spreads it. Tendrils of its energy spread out into nothingness. The hollowed face collapses in on itself. The long, thin appearance, the long, thin hair turns into brown, golden, curly hair. Freckles on cheeks. Eyes still focused on the amount of pain and suffering. The hollowed face, now more of a girl than a vision. If you can show me a way back, if you and I can find a way back, perhaps it can change. Perhaps there is still something left for me to do. She sniffles.
Where do you want to go back to? Do you want to go across? Or do you want to go back to the world?
I have to go back to the world. My link, my anchor is buried in your chest. I can never cross. I will exist forever. That is my punishment. Accept that now. Don't know what this means. Pulsing light nearby. Just kind of taking in this change of energy all around. But
Do you want to go back to be punished, or would you rather go across and rest?
I don't know. Can I rest? Can that be done?
I look out to the light around us. I think that she's suffered enough, more than any one person should. Would you allow me to assist her across?
These things are hard, Gray. I have chosen you for a reason. I don't believe she is ready yet. I believe she can still help. But Gray, she is, well, Gray, they are dead.
I point at the girl.
No, Gray, you.
Oh,
She is your
I'm there.
only link back. Without her, you cannot go back. And your quest will fail, and your people will die.
so I have to choose between my people or this girl in front of me that has suffered for eternity.
I must admit, you say it more plainly like that. Even I see tragedy in it. There are certain rules that even I cannot excuse. She is telling you the truth. She is anchored to that device buried in your chest. If you try to lead her over, she will return, you will cross over, and your friends will be burying a corpse. The alternative is she helps you back. The two of you find a way. Two of you find a way to coexist. I have broken Talona's hold on her. That does not free her from, well, her own decisions. But your willingness to sacrifice, your willingness to show her what love could be, and your attempt at even saving her brought me to this point. It's when you create points of weakness in evil things, the good comes out. You have shown her your capacity to love. She wants to show you her capability of forgiveness. Perhaps these two things make a person.
Can I ask an entirely selfish question?
Of course.
Do you have any idea if Callan is alive?
She is very much alive, Gray. I can even tell you where she is if you'd like me to.
Please.
Even now, she resides in Fema Valley, where she gathers a rebel's cause, where their love of you unknowingly spurs her on. An unknown reason for her passion. She has no memory of you, Gray. She only knows suffering, and she only knows that that suffering drives her to free this world from the malformed evil that it has become. And look, Gray, even now, you watch as the ground you're standing on goes translucent. There's a weeping Dara yelling, screaming at the top of her voice. Zafara looking off into the distance. Merrick injured, trying to recover, but keep an eye on these new friends at the same time. The raptor just sitting there, kind of nipping at the ground. Even now, your friends came looking for you. Your friends love you, Gray. They are not going to give up.
Can they read? I have questions about the... Anyway. Okay, well, we'll go back together and we'll go find Callan and we can show you what love is.
The small child reaches out for your hand and grabs it. I will still be in the dagger. I will be more than willing to help. Things will change. I promise you that. Hey, Initiative League. Thanks for the raid. Hey, John. How are you? I don't know if what I'm doing is right or wrong. But I feel like this is the right thing to do. And as she grabs your hand, she begins to walk in a strangely kind of disjointed way, in a kind of strange. Dara, as you're hovering over the still
Can
cold...
I say something to her real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
When she's talking about these decisions, I just squeeze her hand a little bit. Do you know what that makes you?
No, What does that make me?
A person, a good person. An evil person doesn't question whether what they're doing is right or wrong. They follow whatever goals they have. A good person feels conflict in their actions, but goes with their heart.
That feels... Well, I guess you have to be alive to be able to feel that. But there's a wisp of a smile on her face.
I mean, to be fair, I am very much dead, and I feel that.
Very true. Dara, as you're hovering over the still, cold form, suddenly you watch as the dagger and the chest rise momentarily. You watch as Gray is now awake. The dagger falls out of the center of her chest, and Gray's cold form begins to take on a bit of a warmish hue. Deep breaths coming. Gray, you have 1 hit point. And you have 4
Am I
levels.
still at 4 levels of exhaustion? Tight.
Yep, and you have 4 levels of exhaustion. Sephora, while keeping an eye
I also
out.
have this cat,
I
and
know,
that's pretty good.
That is gone. In the dreamland right there. Okay. Yeah.
So Sephora, you watch as Dara is now interacting with a semi-conscious Gray. You and Merrick keeping an eye on things out on the horizon. Distantly, you can hear the wailing worms crusting and breaching, diving back down into the sand. Even the raptors begin to get a little skittish.
Really should be going. Don't want to be eaten by a sandworm. What are they doing? Take that fucking dagger away from her.
You were dead. Why were you dead? Why are you alive?
That is a lot of questions. Why are you here?
Because you were being stupid. You can't go out in the waste by yourself.
First of all, rude.
You have no business telling me rude. You just killed yourself.
It's complicated.
And I'm just gonna put my arms around them because they look utterly exhausted.
Yep. It's
Just like hold them there for a
most
second.
bags.
Oblivious to the fact worms are coming. I'm just like overwhelmed by this right now.
But hey, I have good news.
Better have good news.
Part of me wants to say or what, but I don't think this is the moment. I seem to have come to a compromise with my friend with the dagger.
The dagger. Friend? I think it's done enough to prove it's not a friend.
Well, you see, sometimes we can't always take things at face value. You know, it seemed like it was a terrible psychopathic sentient dagger, but it turns out it was being controlled by something. The spirit in the dagger is just a little girl that needs a hug, and I'm going to give her a hug.
Another t-shirt.
I die.
Have you hugged your sentient dagger today?
Have you? Have you told your sentient dagger you love them recently?
So
No,
now we
not-
love this thing.
Dar,
That's what it needs. Yes.
Dar, give me a perception check really quick.
Well,
12. You're not sure why or what. The dagger doesn't look the same anymore. Before, it had kind of a darkened, fractured kind of blemish appearance to it. The handle seemed very antiquated and off-putting. The blade now is like almost a shiny, like silver color. The pommel, almost like a very well-wrapped iron, and there's even a couple gemstones that appear to be in the pommel itself. It's changed in appearance. Its physicality is not what it was before.
Is it laying on the ground still, or has Gray picked it up?
Still lying on the ground.
I want to pick it up and kind of turn it over, look at it.
It
is different.
It's got a warm feeling. It doesn't have that same kind of harsh, almost instantaneous kind of revulsion about it. It's very different.
I want to slice my finger on it lightly. See what happens.
As you do it, you merely have a small cut on your finger.
I didn't feel anything nefarious from it, or
No.
See,
All
I'm
right.
not the only one that has stabbed myself with it, so.
I do this all the time.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
hand it
that's
back
true.
to him.
I mean, you're you're scarred up like crazy from the constant attrition of being a blood hunter.
Now, I think we should go to Femur Valley, and I think I should take a really long nap.
Oh, you think we should go to Femur Valley? That's what we were trying to do before you left and killed yourself.
Uh-huh.
That's all we get. We don't get an explanation.
I said there was a dark, shadowy thing that was controlling the spirit of the dagger, and we had a conversation, and we've worked it out now.
The face on
The
your
more I
shade.
talk, the more
I'm
I
just,
talk,
I'm
the
just
more...
glaring. Dara's just glaring, just unmoving, glaring.
See, that's the face. I either get that one or just you're gonna walk away in 30 seconds because I'm just gonna keep talking, and the more I talk,
turn
the
around
more...
and walk away. I walk
Yep.
back to Zipporah.
Yep.
Gray, there's a soft
what I
voice. Gray, there's a soft voice in your head. I think she loves you.
I think that she's angry at me. I don't know. I don't know how exactly we're gonna explain the Callan thing to her, but maybe if we just ignore it, it'll be fine.
I don't. Well, okay.
Sometimes when you like somebody a bunch, you just bury your problems. You just bury them deep down in a
Well,
hole.
You do recall.
I'm being a very bad example. Please don't do that. Please have healthy conversations with the people that you care about. If she looked at me sideways, I would die right now, and I just did that. I don't really want to do that again. It's a lot.
The four of you here. There's a plume of sand off to the side. As a
Let's
waste worm
get-
breaches and goes back underneath the sand.
Out of
Sandworms!
here.
When did those appear? Why didn't you say anything?
I've been saying it. Obviously, you haven't been hearing it.
Right. Gray, get over here. Or wait, you have a raptor. Never mind. It's can you ride your raptor? Can you
Yes,
get it up?
if I am strapped to it, probably.
You could set up a lead so that you could kind of pull that raptor with them.
Yeah. Can the raptor hold 2 people? How big are they?
They're not very big. They can
Not very
barely manage one person comfortably.
Okay.
2 people would make it very difficult.
Okay. I guess I'll get a rope and wrap it around the kind of to make a lead, and then make sure Gray can get up on there. But I'm not looking at Gray. I'm just helping them up on the raptor and then grabbing the lead.
I'm moving at half speed, so I'm sure it's really frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pick Gray up and bring them over to the raptor and set them on the raptor.
Okay.
Without looking at them or saying anything. I'm just going to go do it. And then
That's
then
fair.
grab the lead.
Fair.
And then
So-
get on mine.
So, Merrick, you can go ahead and click off a short rest. That way you can get some hit points
Merrick.
back.
Merrick is not there. It's the conduit stone itself. You can speak for her if you want, but she's using his body. He's a very docile body. He has served for decades in Tylona's army. He fought in the last wars that breached the world into this new existence, and he was lost for centuries. And all he remembers right now is his training as a Wraith assassin and stuff like that. And he's in a mission. And the Conduit Stone, I don't think she's very happy with this detour because the storm is coming. You can speak for her if you want, using my character during this exit.
Gray and Zafara and Dara, as you're mounting, getting the raptors ready, off to the right, for the three of you, this is actually, well, for Dara and Gray, this is actually a familiar sight. Where Merrick was is now the Conduit Stone again. Not all that dissimilar to how it presented itself to Harrow. It's hovering nearby and pulsing. And you watch as it drifts around the three of you, in and out. And then really quickly, Dara, you watch as it dips into one of your skin pouches that you're carrying. The flap opens and gets inside.
Now what is happening?
I just refuse to ask at this point. No.
I just look very frustrated and I spur toward our camp.
Do you think Merrick is in the Where is Merrick?
I don't really care at this point.
Okay, let's
I'm
go.
getting
Let's
out of
go.
here. There's sandworms everywhere.
Okay, let's go. Great, come on.
So now you have two raptors in the lead. The three of you kick in, and the raptors take off. Dara, give me animal handling, because you're handling yours and leading two others.
Can I attempt
13?
to assist her?
Go ahead and give me advantage.
The assisting is coming in the form of, no, I mean, you're pulling a little hard. Okay, I'll shut up. No, but it's okay.
Still, yeah, that was where it's 13.
13. It's a struggle, but you manage to maintain a pace. Zafara is about 30 feet ahead of you. And you and all the other raptors are now making your way back to the main encampment. A couple hours go by. The sound of sandworms fall behind all of you. You can make out the telltale sign of a campfire as all of you drift back into the campsite. As you drift in, the individual that saw you and Zafara off comes running over to grab the leads, and he yells, "Get over here, quickly!" And you watch as 2 or 3 more people come over to grab the leads off your raptors, help you into camp at this point. They immediately help Gray off of the one raptor. They carry them over to a bundle, set them down over by the fire. And the man, there were 3 of you when you left, only 2 made it.
Well, one walks away from the people that they are with and they take their own chances.
Well,
But now I'm going to go to sleep.
we'll keep watch for you.
I'm very tired. Thank you.
You have a creepy smile.
Well, Merrick can be there now, like just appeared if you want. Now it's the time to go. Like he's already in the chariot, like
Yeah, so
I don't know, maybe smoking a psychic cigarette.
Merrick is now reformed, back into existence.
I want to check the pouch, see if the stone's there.
Stone's not there anymore.
Well, okay.
Dara, Zafara, Grayson, how good to see you. Let's go.
You're already back in
I'm
camp.
taking a nap.
We really need rest. Gray can't travel. I'm exhausted. Zephora has been. I mean, I don't know if
Of course,
you
of course.
experience the same things we do, but we need to recoup our energy, especially if we're gonna go to the valley.
Well, maybe you do hear a thunderstorm, and it's my stomach. If I do have one, it's the GM you mentioned. I feel things that I haven't felt in a long time ago. Maybe I am feeling right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Yeah, because you're in that strange space. Right now, the
I
conduit...
do not recognize it.
Yeah, and the conduit stone...
You can put it that way.
Yeah, and the conduit stone has given you kind of a partial corporeal existence. You have the ability to travel in a translucent and non-corporeal state from time to time, but the conduit stone is a physical thing that forces you to exist in a corporeal world, and this mix is difficult for you. It's new.
Is there food ready?
You can smell food being cooked over where the other survivors are.
I haven't felt this in so long. What is it? I approach and I try to eat and rest with people, like becoming a little more human. The conduit stone is a little happier that we are on our way soon. So Merrick assumes.
The individuals kind of welcome you around the fire pit and hand you a small ceramic bowl of food.
I thank you very, very much, and I join them in eating.
Merrick, you who?
Yes, Sephora.
So luckily, I don't really give two shits about you right now because, well, you're new to the group, and I don't really know you. But when you're with us and we go out somewhere and we're rescuing someone and you disappear, it makes the other people concerned that something bad has happened to you. So
I disappeared.
In the future, let us know what you're doing.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was disappearing. It was involuntary. I'm so sorry. I'll try to control it.
Stop disappearing.
Stop breathing.
Great. Okay. Everyone would stop disappearing.
Yes.
Gray just rolls over and cuddles deeper into their blanket.
Gray's just taking a nap. Gray's
I'm so sorry, Zafara.
Yeah, leave us a note next time. Switch.
I don't want any more notes
that care about you.
leaving.
I'm going to eat some human food.
I feel like eating will help. Yes, I think it will help.
So Merrick and Zephora, with you guys the two of you kind of linger around the fire, eating from ceramic bowls, this food that these individuals have cooked. And it has taste and flavor, and it's fulfilling. For you, Dara, Gray has already drifted off to sleep. She's quite exhausted from the ordeal. You watch as the man that had helped you earlier and helped you after you'd gotten back crosses his arms and looks over at you and goes, "So, do you have a plan for tomorrow? This may be hard to believe, but I get the feeling that you might be the leader of this group."
I wouldn't say that. I probably am a little bold in taking charge, but I think we all have our attributes that contribute.
How long have you been out of the slave pits?
That is a great question.
I recognize your scars.
Maybe like the past 10 years. It's long enough to have been, like
That's
10
a
years.
long time to be on the run.
It never ends.
I envy your strength. I envy your ability. If only we had been rescued a few days earlier. Not everybody is as strong as we hope. But go back. He smiles. That's good. People are looking towards you. They sense a passion about you. The way you speak, the way you hold your manners. You have leadership quality, I sense it. Me and mine will follow you.
I wish I didn't have to be strong. I wish none of us had to be this strong. I wish you didn't have to be this strong. But we do, and I'm honored by your trust. Thank you.
I will see to the camp. I will establish a watch. And we shall set off in the morning, I suppose.
Yes, we have multiple reasons for getting to the valley. I think it'll hold answers for us.
Good. Well, sleep well. And he turns to head back towards the main fireplace, or the main fire pit where everyone's gathered. It's late. Ray's asleep. Eventually, Zephora and Merrick slip off. Zephora, do you sleep or meditate? I forget.
I sleep.
And Merrick, you meditate, right? You don't technically ever sleep.
Exactly. I don't technically have to sleep, but I would like to take the long rest because I have some abilities that restore with that, and it's convenient.
And
The conduit stone is pleased.
And we'll say that's your meditative state. So, Dara, you're the last one to kind of slip off to start your long rest. One of the children comes over as you're kind of making your bundle and trying to get prepared. And she walks over to you and hands you a small totem made out of ivory. I just wanted to give you this for helping us. You could have just left us. Others have. Thank you. And she turns and runs off.
I was so incredibly touched by this. Nobody shows gratitude or thanks. It's just survive and move on. So this is kind of a new, feeling wanted is new. But she didn't think she'd feel that ever.
So with that, everybody go ahead and take a long rest. I believe that gets rid of 1 point of exhaustion for Gray. Everybody should be back up to full hit points. You wake up the following morning to the sounds of a camp being dismantled, packed, put onto the sled, raptors being hitched up to the main sled, and it is morning. It's still warm. It's always warm in this planet, but it's not hot, thankfully. It's still a season of light. There's still a few more days of this particular part of the season. Cat is ridiculous. That's like Shannon's symbiote, for sure.
Correct. She has 2 modes. This is one, and the other is I'm going to bite your face off.
Same, to be fair.
All right, so it's morning. What would you guys like to do?
I have a mechanical question.
Go for it.
I lost a point of constitution. Does that further reduce my health?
Until you get greater restoration, yes.
Hell yeah! Your boy is incredibly squishy right now because, ow, ma'am, I need that thumb. Exhaustion. Oh, good. My hit point maximum halved was exhaustion level 4, and I just got rid of that. So I'm only down. What are we, level 7? 7 hit points. Okay, that's not so bad.
So, it's the following morning. Camp is being taken down. You have about 15 people that are basically that you're semi-responsible for. The sled could easily carry you and them with the 4 raptors hooked up. It's a bit of a struggle. At some point, you may either want to try to gain more raptors, because originally I think there were 8. that were hitched to the sled. So the pace of travel won't be as good. You're currently on the very edge of the Raptor Highlands and the very tail edge of the Worm Wastes. Almost everything in front of you at this point is just vast, empty sand dunes that stretch out into the horizon. And to your northwest is the map that you have that tells you where Femur Valley should be. It's about a 2 to 3 day journey.
Real quick, before we leave, could I get 2 dagger-sized teeth out of that sandworm?
Sure. Give me
to make it some weapons.
give me a medicine check.
Medicine. Oh yeah, my medicine. Okay.
Oh yeah, and like teeth and stuff like that would have definitely wanted to have already collected for like
16.
anything.
Okay. Yep. Same thing.
Yeah, 16.
Okay. All right. You can do a medicine check to do some harvesting. You're muted.
Yeah, I was counting. Sorry.
Okay.
That is a 14.
14. You guys managed to harvest what you need. It's actually surprisingly easy since it's been rotting for the better part of a day. Kind of comes out of the juicy bits quite easily. Gray,
Right.
read for me what your dagger does.
Sure. One moment. Oh, ow. Put down, speaking of daggers, this small child with dagger teeth.
Tries to kill every party member.
Yeah. Baneblade was a personal possession of the daughter of Lord Arcanum. The name is long forgotten, but is believed this blade possessed a sentient fracture of her soul. It has thirsted for so long while dormant that it is possible the fragmented soul has become mad, unpredictable, and has never-ending thirst. It hasn't changed at all.
As you...
It doesn't tell me what it does.
I sent you the clip of it, didn't I?
Yeah, it just has a history on it, like a short little history. But it doesn't like tell me what it does.
There it is. It is no longer the Bane Blade. It is now called the Blade of Redemption. And it fully reveals
It should
itself.
be called the Blade of Free Hugs.
It fully reveals itself to you because it is no longer bound to the insane spirit of the young Arcanum child. It is now +2 to attack. It does radiant damage whenever it does damage. And any non-living creature that is attacked with this, the amount of damage that is done to the creature once per short rest is returned to you in hit points.
I like that. Is there a write-up for that somewhere?
There will be one.
Cool.
All right. So,
Have you left already
you guys are gathering up
before we go?
and you guys are in the
Okay.
preparation mode at this point.
I'd like to talk to Zafora. Zafora, I have a very strong urge to go to Femur Valley, but right now I have an even stronger urge that I haven't felt for centuries.
Oh.
And I have to
Really?
disappear for a second. Is that okay for you? I'm warning you because you told me to. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I will expel what I ate for... No, just just
Oh,
around
you
the
have
corner.
to go to the restroom.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
It's very strange. I'm
so you're
sorry.
going to
I'm
disappear
sorry.
behind that carcass for a little bit.
It's okay, right? I can do this now.
Mm.
It's okay.
Take something with you.
You told me to warn you. I wouldn't be warning you if you didn't ask me. But I'm sorry, I have to go.
Okay.
Poop break.
Just be like helping pack everything up and getting people shifted in and settled and after she had collected the teeth.
So you guys essentially have a 3-day trip to Femur Valley. During this trip, for day 1, I need the 4 of you to make perception checks really quick.
Baby
7.
needs a new pair of shoes.
Sad for
Finally.
disadvantage. 12.
Decent. Perception. I got a 24.
Okay. Merrick?
It's rolling. It's 24.
24. The first day's journey is surprisingly smooth. The weather does not shift. Still a bit warm, but not quite the heat that it gets during the season of hot. And that first day travel goes by without any particular issues. So, Gray, another long rest for you. So another point of exhaustion is gone. Guys, wake up on the second day. As you wake up on the second day, a sandstorm has begun to roll in. Not a particularly tough one, but one of those typical storms that kind of evolves out here on these great open sand wastes. Makes travel a little bit more difficult. Give me survival checks, please.
$22.
Okay.
Travels. 21.
Okay.
18.
Okay. Great.
Natty 1. I was just double checking to see if I still had disadvantage.
Yeah.
Which I do.
As you follow the map throughout the day, Dara, Merrick, and Zephora, it's almost like you have this small little caravan. Some people are strung out on foot. Some are in the sled to kind of ease the amount of weight on the raptors. And you're sticking to this route as best as you can based on the map. Gray, give me a dex check or a dex save, please.
Save or check, sorry.
Save.
Save. 17.
17. Just at the last minute, Dara, you watch as Gray is almost sucked down into the sand. They shift sideways and over and out. And that's when the 4 of you begin to realize you've walked in to a section of the path that is just littered with quicksand pits. You can see the slight discoloration and change in the surface of the sand. Now, each one of you can describe for me how you want to help the team make it through this section, and you can pick whatever skill you want to use. Go for it, Zephora.
I will cast Old Earth.
And with Zephora choosing to do that, it means Merrick, Dara, and Gray, you now get advantage on any of your checks.
I have real high good survival stuff, so I want to kind of I want to look out for the areas that kind of like yell directions, like keep this direction, keep this way, watch that spot, kind of be the guider, I guess.
Go for it. Give me a survival roll with advantage.
I have advantage anyway.
You have advantage to track specific things, not just always advantage.
I have advantage. That is a total of 17.
17, okay. Gray, what do you want to do?
Okay. Can I attempt to, while she is shouting directions, keep an eyeball out for potential dangers?
Go for it. And you'd normally have advantage, but I think it's a regular roll for you, correct?
Correct. It's okay. 25.
25. Merrick, what would you like to do to try to help the team guide through this section?
Yes, I am an urban city, a person from the cities. I walked around like imaginary deserts and stuff like that. I have no idea how to deal with it. The best thing I can do is, in case someone trips or falls or doesn't follow the proper direction, I will use my acrobatics ability to catch them
Okay.
before anything happens.
So for the next few hours, with Dara giving guidance, Zafara managing to mold and shift the very nature of the ground around you, Gray keeping a look out. Occasionally you watch as Merrick helps the other survivors kind of avoid the pitfalls, grabbing one person and then pulling them away. The team, for the most part, you get through this second day and make camp as soon as it's late in the evening. And you've avoided the quicksand of this particular stretch of the journey. Another long rest. Gray, go ahead and take off another point of exhaustion. You're on your third day of travel. Waking up, the sandstorm is slightly abated. Caravan your small group that's being led by Dara is now entering the very surrounding valley region, and this is where things begin to change a little bit. You're now beginning to find yourself among craggy rocks, shale-like stones that are fractured and pulled apart. And you're beginning to see out in the distance, almost like a giant piece of fractured bone, this great, like huge piece of rock, thousands of feet jutting up into the air, fractured almost like in half. And at the very base of it, you can see what looks to be a settlement, just kind of spread all the way around it. And you can see this because you're slightly elevated and now coming down into the Femur Valley. You're also now beginning to see other caravans. You see, the one thing you see that's quite striking is a familiar sauropod off in the distance. And it is gradually making its way towards Femur Valley, but it's a good mile away from where you currently are. You look off to the left and you can see a smaller version of the sauropod with a large caravan in tow as well. You can make out other metal sleds being pulled by raptors. You could see raptor riders herding hundreds of raptors in the direction of Femur Valley. It's at this point, as you drift closer and closer into this location, you'd see air bursts of color going off. People come running out and cheering and yelling. See all manner of humanoids, bugbears, goblins, orc, Araphanians, all mixed here. They're all here, and they come running out to greet the big wandering caravans as it's the end of the season of light. It's the great market. It's the great time where everybody meets, they exchange goods and services, and they all go off in their different directions. It's also soon to be the beginning of the heat, the beginning of hot, where the 9-month-long summer will begin to settle in. As you find yourself in amongst these adobe-style buildings built in very hodgepodge, kind of like mixed stone, clay kind of fashion. You could see bone and ivory making up scaffolding works, all kind of like pulling all of these buildings together. You could see it's all butted up into what they call the femur mountain or the femur rock that makes up the very center of Femur Valley. The smell on the wind is the smell of domesticated animals, outdoor eating, dung heap kind of fire pits going that do the cooking, as wood is non-existent in this world. And there are crowds of people moving about. You can see where very tall half ogre individual walks over and is examining these raptors that are being brought in for sale. You can see great metal colored sleds parked, people almost like in celebration, and just having this very like party like atmosphere. It's almost as if they're trying to live a year in a day with their behavior. You begin to come in and you watch as a goblin comes running out. Oh, hello. Who are you? I don't recognize you. Have you been here before?
Hi, we are.
Oh,
We
hello.
haven't.
Are you the leader?
I guess so. Yes.
All right.
Dara.
Good.
I'll put my hand out.
Okay. His tiny little hand shakes your finger. What goods are you selling?
We have. I'm gonna look at back. We have hides and equipment and weapons that we can sell.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put you over in the general goods area then. Right over there, if you would, please. The goblin then, kind of points and then runs and goes off to another sled that's coming in to park.
Thank you. I guess we're going over there. Kind of lead everybody over to where he pointed.
You watch as the sled and all of you shift over into this section. Off to your right, you can see another similar sled like yours, only it seems to be mostly Araphanian individuals that are setting up all manner of ivory and bone. There's another one across that's setting up all manner of metal goods, and another, and then another, and another. And already swarms of people are coming and going. It's at this point you watch as a small airship begins to hover over and then eventually land. And you watch as people are now getting off that small airship and descending down into the market space. There are...
Not a familiar airship, right?
No, it's a lot smaller than the Wraith. The Wraith that attacked Espis would be noticeable by all. And it's at this point you hear... You look over to see the giant sauropod make its way to the outskirts of the femur community, and it just kind of settles down. And the four of you give me perception checks really quick. Unfortunately, my voice is going a bit. Sorry.
12.
Perception. 21.
Okay.
Natty 1. We love that disadvantage.
19.
18. Zafara and Merrick, you notice a distinct amount of damage has been done to the community. You can see where great areas of the buildings are missing. The creature itself appears to have taken a great deal of scarring and burning kind of damage from whatever had happened when the death squad had arrived. Merrick, you only know and can see the damage. Zafara, you can make the connection to the, surviving the death squad at this point. But it looks functional as you watch the great sauropod head kind of lean and lay down in the sand, and 2 or 3 individuals getting off and disappearing towards the market section. What would you guys like to do?
Can I roll history again to see if I want to like compare it with my memories of the
Oh,
Opaque Valley?
you don't even have to.
Nothing.
Yeah, you don't even have to compare. This is nothing what Femur Valley used to look like. This all used to be
Weird.
jungle and tropical.
Yes, but aren't there any, at least a mountain that I can recognize and locate myself? Nothing.
No.
Even the geography has changed.
Oh yeah. In fact, you specifically remember that this particular area, there was no reference to Femur Valley or the notations of the map now. I mean, this was just an old abandoned tropical jungle, and there used to be a great ancient city out here that resided in the middle of the jungle. You don't have a clear name that comes to mind, but you know where you are. It just doesn't match with what you see.
I'll allow the group to deal with our more daily and immediate needs before we start looking for whatever goal it is I am being drawn to.
Fair enough. So, you guys are now in Femur Valley. There's quite a bit going on. What would you like to do?
See if we can sell these slaves. Just kidding. Okay.
Dark.
Excuse me.
Psych. No. Well, I don't think we need to go back to Espis at the moment. I don't know what's on there. Might still be some Death Squad people. Who knows? But we have a lot of things to trade. I think we need to trade for some items that we might need.
Yes, we need
You
to
need
trade for
items.
things that can help us get through the season of heat. We need protection. We need ways to stay cool. We'll need rations.
I can get all of this without having to pay, you know,
Oh,
Oh, really? Well,
very easily. It's what I've been trained to do my entire existence. But only if you want.
oh, you're going to steal it?
you just be taking it from others?
It is for a higher purpose. Haven't you saw the books, the proofs, everything that I've been telling you?
They need to survive too. We can't just at the blatant cost of taking what they need.
Being alive is overrated, okay? I mean,
Oh,
you do you. I'm just telling you that I am available if you want. For me,
Well,
as
thank
soon as
you.
we get
Thank you for
past this
trying to be
point,
helpful.
the better.
I like you. You're becoming very interesting.
I like you too, Zafora.
I wonder
By the
how
way,
they
how are
execute
your...
people here. For
Oh,
thievery.
yes, you like that, right? But, you know, I think they have to be like evil people, otherwise it will be inconvenient.
Oh,
Yes, we kill the evil people.
yes.
Yes.
Well,
If we
you
find an
do
evil
whatever
people, we
you
can like...
feel you need to do, and then we'll do what we're going to do.
If we find an evil people with a lot of goods, we can kill two birds with the same stone.
I suppose.
Oh, I see what he means now. Like what we did to the slavers. Yes. Well.
Yes, Gray.
How are we gonna be sure that they're evil people? Are we just gonna assume that they're evil based off of like a single action that we see, like accidentally maybe almost stabbing one of their friends, maybe?
Oh.
I'm a good judge of character.
Are you?
Well, what if there's
Yeah, you've fallen in with this group. Is that really a good indicator?
If there's slavers, then
I will personally go with you to kill the slavers.
we'll do what we do, but, What's up with your dagger now?
That was.
Have you,
We've been together for 3 days.
have you
and we
explained
haven't-
it?
What?
You've explained it then?
Yeah, we had a friend, or that we had a friend. They had a conversation, and we're friends now.
You had a conversation with an evil dagger, and now you're friends with it. You were friends with it before.
What I
First of all,
said-
she's not evil. She had an evil entity that was trying to puppet her. You know, like a slaver.
And now that evil's gone.
It is.
All right, well, I'll still keep my eye on you.
I mean, I hope that you appreciate the view.
Let me take a look.
Tiny little drow person.
Yes. Yes, you are interesting.
My God, that was almost a compliment.
Yes.
Zafar, you make everything so awkward. I love it.
All right. Well, there's a couple things I want to get done in this town.
Where's my shopping emote?
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to do gray stuff, Sephora stuff, or who's gonna do like trading stuff, Merrick stuff.
Totally up to you guys.
Look, I don't have any gear. I don't have any money. I only have my own skills. If you are willing to pay and give me some gear to help you better, I will accept that for starters. But keep in mind that you might be giving money to someone who killed someone who wasn't evil and is selling you his goods. Like, how is it any better?
Well, you can go off and discuss what's good and bad. I don't really care. But what I do care about
Can
is
I
getting
go
some
off
equipment
and-
that we need.
Can I go off and get my own equipment and
Yes,
like,
you
you
can
get yours
kill
and we
whoever
don't
you
talk
want to.
about it? Oh, I like you too, Zafora.
Yes. I don't care.
I'll do that. I try not to kill anyone, but I'll like stealth,
Try
sneaking,
or
steal,
succeed.
and go. We meet again
Try
at
or
some point. I
succeed.
just need some.
All right, have fun
Well-
killing and taking things.
The way of
At a certain
saying
point, you have to
speaking,
stop
but
asking, you know?
I will disappear, Sephora, for a second and do that, and I'll be right back.
Right, so, you don't have to tell me every time you go to the restroom either.
Oh, that's good to know.
Okay.
So what are you guys looking for?
My wife!
I don't know if they sell them here. Yeah, okay. Well, I want to take that magic user skull, the head, and I want to take it to someone that can make me like a very cool, like not a helmet, but just a cool headdress out of it.
Fair
A
enough.
visor, full visor.
Yeah, like a shade, like a sunshade out of the top jaw skull part. You know,
Okay.
keep all the skin intact. And
Yeah.
then I want a necklace made of Green Bottle's hand. And then I want to make the teeth I have into two kick-ass daggers.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an investigation check really quick, Zephora. Dara, what would you like to do with your time here?
Focus on, I guess, look for, I'm not sure what would be available exactly, but things that would be provide like sun protection, like whether that's like a fortified like canopy thing that could go over, or like clothing that it's used for when having to travel during heat, like things of that nature.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
I got a 24.
Okay.
14.
14. Okay. Gray, give me an investigation.
Oh boy. Before I leave, I would tell Dara, I'm going to go away for a little while, but I promise I'm not running away.
Thank you. Be safe.
Merrick, what are you looking for?
Okay, I have some ground rules that are I won't steal water from people. I do understand that the money is water, but I want an armor. I took a lot of damage. I'm kind of traumatized. I want maybe a leather armor, and I don't know how are they displayed in in this market. But I'm trying to see if I find something that it's so crowded that I can just snatch it and disappear. If I don't, I'm looking for something valuable and that is easy to snatch. Something smaller, maybe something like a jewel or something like that.
Go ahead and give
That I can then trade.
Go ahead and give me investigation.
That will be a beautiful 22.
Okay. Dara, just before you leave, the man comes over. And the man's name is Alexander, by the way. Alexander looks at you and
Hamilton?
goes, huh?
Joke. It said Hamilton.
Oh. And as he comes over and he goes, I'll keep an eye on the equipment and the sled. Do I have your permission to barter if people come? And if we're going to appear to be in commerce, I suspect we should try.
Absolutely, that's a good idea. Set a few of these aside. I'm gonna point to like some of the hides and some of like the teeth. I'm pretty good at fashioning things. I think Merrick might need something, although he might steal something. But just in case.
Very well. We will keep things here under control for you. Good hunting. And Alexander turns and starts prepping the team to do what he has promised. You watch as Merrick has already disappeared into the crowd. Merrick, give me a stealth check really quick.
Mechanically, there is this thing that if I have more than 10, and it's a 27.
Okay.
Okay, I have like 11, so if the DC is less than 10, I don't have to roll, right? Do you use that rule? I heard
I'm using it more as a base value.
That's okay.
So some of you hear the conversation of Zafara, but eventually you look around and see no sign of Merrick as he's already kind of drifted off into the crowded marketplace. Zafara, you see a good deal many stalls that could potentially interest you. One particular stall, there's a very elderly, old hobgoblin that seems to have all manner of fashioned jewelry and other accoutrement that's been kind of made of bone and ivory, skins. You can see like what looks to be jewelry, as well as other kind of weird fashioned like knickknacks and ceramics. As you're kind of wandering the stalls and you eyeball hers, she just looks, oh, is there something I can help you with, young lady?
Yes, I need some things made. Maybe perhaps you could help me. I take out a bag.
Certainly try.
I take out the bag of sand that has the hand in it, and I open it up and I take the hand out and I go, I would like this made into a necklace.
After the amount of time it's been there, it's completely mummified at this point, completely dehydrated. Oh, I do have some copper wire and some beadwork. Is there other things you'd like me to work on?
Well, I have this, and I take out of the backpack, I take the head out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
Well, no, it's disgusting and terrifying. What do you want done with that?
Oh, I want it made. I want a headdress made.
You want to wear this person's head?
Yes. Well, the top half. I don't know. You have to construct it, but you know.
You realize what this
top
is.
half, maybe
You understand what this is,
teeth.
right?
I hope soon it'll be a headdress.
You want me to fashion you a headdress made of a dragonborn slaver?
Yes.
Okay, I will give it my best shot. She kind of like drags it over and sets it very obviously out of sight and underneath the counter. Is there anything else you'd like me to work on for you?
Well, I have few fashion weapons. I have some worm teeth I would like made into some swords or something like that.
She looks at them, she kind of turns them over and feels the heft. They'll not make very good weapons. They certainly could make good hilts, good pommels. Maybe if you take them over to old Brokejaw over there, perhaps he can fashion weapons for you. It's not quite my area of expertise.
All right, I'll do that. Well, and do you? How much would you need for that, or do you barter, or?
I could barter, or I could trade in coin. It's
I
your.
have many fine skins and things back at my establishment.
I would gladly do this work for some skins.
All right. I will
Say
get you what you need.
4 raptor hides, if you have them. I could certainly use them.
How many do we have? We have a lot, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, was there a big list of like everything?
I mean, basically you have like 200 raptor hides.
Oh god.
Oh damn.
Yeah, you have like 100 pounds in worm flesh. You have like 25 pounds of worm hide. You have at least 50 worm teeth, and at least a couple like huge leather or skin bags full of raptor teeth. You have all manner of ceramic and metalware, tools, metal tools. So yeah, you have quite an assortment of equipment.
Make them especially good, and I'll bring you 6 hides.
I can certainly do that for you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I go over and talk to the other.
You make your way over to what's clearly a smithy, and it's in the open. There's at least 4 anvils being worked on. There are a series of very stout but very well suntanned dwarves working only in their breechcloths, as it's hot outside. One particular dwarf kind of walks over, sees you, kind of eyeing some of the equipment. Yeah, what can I do for you?
I need some short swords, very fine and sharp and thin and deadly.
Well,
like
weapons are normally
teeth
deadly.
as, something, a hilt or something.
May I look at them?
I hand them to him.
He takes them. They make good pommels. I can certainly fashion you something of good craftsmanship, trading coin or barter.
What will you take in barter? I have many raptor hides. I have
Do you have any tools?
teeth. I have metal tools.
I would gladly barter for tools. I could always use those.
All right. I will bring you some tools. What do you need? Hammers and chisels and...
Chisels, hammerheads, pliers, tongs, prods, all manner of metal working gear would be a benefit.
All right. I'll get that and bring it to you.
Bargain struck. He like spits in his hand and reaches out to shake your hand. Dara,
I'll be back.
you've been wandering the market as well. While out and about, there's some things you begin to notice. Almost everything here is barter or coin. You see some people bartering strange looking fabrics made out of either skins or hemp or other strange kind of like plant material. Some stalls are selling like stone and ceramic work. Some stalls are selling preserved goods and meat stuffs. It seems like just about anything you want to find is here. But there's a kind of reserved kind of nature about the place. There's a desperation. It's almost like everybody's trying to do a whole lot of business in a very short period of time. Now, what is it specifically you were looking for?
For me?
Yeah.
Like things that would be protective and resistant for the heat. So
Right.
like I don't know, like maybe like a canopy for the sled or something of that nature. Like clothes for us to wear that would protect our skin. Ways to be protected in heat.
Eventually, you come across a rather large fabric stall where all manner of either silken, hemp, or skin fabrics that have either been altered, manufactured, are in bolts and coiled up kind of round, long extensions of the fabric where they're just folded up and heaped and packed up all around you. You watch as a very tall, thin Araphanian man kind of finishes business with an individual, then looks away. Ah, yes. What can I do for you?
Yeah, so looking for a way to beat this upcoming season. We need a canopy, some clothes. What do you recommend for protection?
Well, as you know, the flying dragonkin have a natural protection from the weather and the season of heat. They have many bolts of their skin I could gladly trade or barter for. How much do you require?
I don't know. I'll tell him kind of the dimensions of what I'm trying to cover and how many people I'm trying to protect.
You have a waste sled. Sounds like you will need at least maybe 70 feet by 40 feet worth of covering. I have enough of the dragonkin skin to offer you this.
Oh, great. Are there any kind of skins you need in return? We have a worm hide, also raptor skins.
Would gladly trade you for worm hide. It's difficult to come by this.
So, even trade, or how? I'm not sure the worth of it.
Give me a persuasion check.
11.
Even trade sounds appropriate for the skins.
Excellent. I will have to go fetch them, but I will be back.
Bargained and well. See you when you return. Takes you a few. You go and grab the equivalent amount. You bring it back. And in trade, you bring it back as well. Alexander kind of looks at you and goes, I think we could fashion something from this. I found bits of metal and ivory in the sled. Perhaps we can build a shade canopy over this as well.
That would be great. I could help later, but there are a few other things I did want to do.
Absolutely. I will get started. So what else?
Is there anything that you need in particular?
I think food and water would be our priority. And I know water can be very expensive, but I'm sure there is a seller or purveyor of water here. It's just a matter of finding them.
Absolutely. I'll keep my eyes out for that.
Good. So you drift back into the marketplace. Give me a perception check. 8. Yeah, I mean, it's crowded. There's stalls everywhere. You see no sign of a particular purveyor of water, but you do see a handful of stalls that sell metal containers filled with all manner of preserved fungus, lichen, mushrooms and raptor meat, snake meat, as well as preserved what they call beetlekin meat. Sand beetle eggs are preserved as well. All of them could be used for foodstuffs.
Can I say when I went back out, I would have grabbed some of like the like worm meat that we had?
Sure, fair enough.
Okay, because I'll try to kind of trade some of that meat for some other different goods, food
Okay.
goods.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion.
That is a 16.
16.
Much better.
You managed to bargain the worm meat for about 2 weeks worth of preserved food in these metal containers. Enough for 30 people. The small like string of kobolds kind of help carry all the containers back over to your sled. And immediately the kobolds begin to bargain with some of your folks that are working there. They begin to trade all manner of like knickknacks and other things with some of the equipment that you have on hand. I like that one there. And you watch as Alexander pulls a small ceramic bowl and hands it to him. The kobold takes off a necklace of teeth and hands it to Alexander. Merrick, give me a perception check really quick.
Perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a 20. 30-20.
Wandering around, you take it almost on like an Assassin's Creed kind of like vibe. You kind of blend in when necessary.
Totally.
You kind of alter your self in such a way most people don't even notice that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Give me sleight of hand with advantage.
Oh, that's an 18 in the first roll. But can it be even better? And it is. 30 total, a dirty 30.
Okay. You find an old kind of habit returning to you without even realizing. As you meander and wander through this busy marketplace, dipping in and out of the crowd, you've accumulated 3 small pouches, a dagger, and a bracelet.
Okay.
In the first small pouch, you find 20 tokens or 20 water coins. In the second small pouch, you find 2 small gold rings, as well as 15 Titan's Fall tokens. And in the third small pouch, you find 22 slaver coins.
Okay. I'm glad we are recording this. I trying to keep track, but
No worries.
I think Marek is not counting at the moment. Also, he's enjoying reality, and well, that's it. When it's time to come back, he will come back.
Okay. You drift in and out of the market a bit more, and you find a very plain-looking stall selling all manner of metal arms, metal armor, raptor skin armor as well, dragonkin armor as well, scaled hide. He seems to be doing a decent business, doing trades and bartering with those that come and go.
That is the hard part because it's a big object, right? It is not something that I'm gonna take a look at the prices and see if with what I have I can already buy it. Maybe I can simplify it all.
As you approach,
because this is my
Yeah, as you approach the stall, I mean, there's no real display of prices. You kind of overhear him bartering with another person, and he is describing to the other person that the scale vest that he is trying to acquire would be 3 tokens or 3 coin.
3 of the water coin,
Correct.
of which I have 20. Okay, I'll be arriving by his side and
Oh,
offering 4.
you started
I'm gonna
me.
offer 4 right now. Can you give me this for 4 water coins, please? Right now. Give him the 4 coins.
He like puts his hand on his
Take it.
chest and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't tell anyone. I know this might affect the prices. I'll be talking to him in quiet. Just give it to me.
Sure.
Forget I'm here.
And he hands over the scaled vest to you.
Yes.
Thank
you very much. And disappear again.
Yeah, which is equivalent to a chainmail shirt.
Thank you.
And then you kind of disappear back out into the space. Gray, as you're wandering about, you see a crowd has formed off near the outskirts of the market area. There is somebody speaking very loudly, and to a crowd that is cheering in response. And you can hear a gruff voice, feminine but assertive, in the distance. For too long, we've allowed these slavers and these highborn to dictate our ways. For too long, we live at the bottom, while they live at the top. We die, and they live. The crowd like breaks out cheering and roaring in agreement. You drift a little closer. Can't quite see who it is yet. The crowd kind of parts in front of you as these tall figures are cheering and yelling in recognition of this speech. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay, so you know how earlier you asked me to make an investigation check to look for my wife?
Yep.
That was my 3rd natural one earlier, and I was like, well, that couldn't happen again. It did. So that's my 4th natural one for having disadvantage.
Just as you break out into the crowd, speech.
But it's a total of an 8.
Just as you break out at the edge of the crowd, you could see a very tall, familiar-looking female visage. They are drow. You're looking at Callan. She is standing on a pedestal. She is wearing very simple desert attire. Thin snakeskin with thin kind of raptor skin adornments in various beige and camouflage-like hues. You can see that her hair is now very long and goes all the way down her back and is braided into many like tendril formations. There's a unfamiliar tattoo that runs from her eye down across her jawline. You can see a series of scars on her face. One eye is completely white from an injury, perhaps, that she has taken.
It's okay, we can fix that.
Her hand slams down on the stone pedestal in front of her as she points. And know this, every time you barter with them, every time you trade with them, is one that you do against the cause. If you join me and mine, I can assure you, we will take the fight to Wyndham. We will take the fight to Titan's Fall. Even now, in the deep north, Soot in his high chair plots to overthrow Titan's Fall with his new war machines and his new agreements with the Goliaths of the valleys. Even now, the very power is shifting. Now is our time to strike at Wyndham. And after we free Wyndham, we will have an army on which anybody can stop. We will march north and we will burn Titan's Fall to the ground. We will free this place from this hindrance of this foul existence. Otherwise, die in your beds, asleep, like docile sheep if you choose to. But I choose to fight. I choose to remember those that I love, and that drives me to understand what I must do. And the crowd just goes bonzo. I mean, they're just yelling and cheering.
I try to give like the biggest wolf whistle I can above the crowd noise.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Just my wife. I love her. I love her so much. Please don't do another natural one. That will make me very sad. That's a 7, but that's okay. It's very close. What is my total? One moment. 9.
Yeah, with the emotion overtaking you, it's not a very inspiring wolf whistle.
That's okay.
It gets drowned out in and amongst the crowd. You watch as an ogre and another human step out from behind where she's speaking, and they immediately begin asking for volunteers. And you watch as people begin to join.
I jump.
Yeah,
I jump
you-
so high.
you
I
tear
jump so
out.
high with my tiny legs.
And you watch as Callan points and goes, "See here? There's one that wants to join this fight. It is not a lost cause. We can do this. We can take this fight to Titan's Fall. We can show them what we are worth. We are not chattel. We are not organs for the meat grinder. We are people. We feel love and passion like this individual here. Come, you. Come and give me your name. Tell these people why they should join." And the ogre looks at you, the other human. The crowd looks at you as you're standing there.
I was like confident and like whatever she wants, I'll give it to her. But now everybody's staring at me.
Oh, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come up. Come up.
Hi. 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 My name's Grayson Ghelfi. It's nice to meet you. Oh.
You see, even my brethren come out to fight.
Well, let's not go with brotherhood. That would make things awkward later.
You're an
It was a
odd,
very inspiring speech. Yeah, thank you.
you're a very odd sort. You have a familiar
Yes.
face. What tribe are you with?
What tribe am I with, Jason?
I mean, it would basically be your family surname would be the Warren that you're from, and that would be your tribal recognition.
So then Ghelfi.
You are Gallohall. I'm not familiar with that name.
Well, I
Are you a wanderer?
would love to.
Have you been set out by the Iron Wood?
I have.
Oh, it's good to see someone out and about. Well, it's been a while since I've seen another drow. You seem
Same
upset.
here.
Are you okay?
I'm doing really good, really great. Just inspired.
There's like a tiny little voice in your head of the now changed version.
Yeah, she's just seeing through my eyeballs, just hearts.
Yeah,
around
yeah,
this woman.
and she's like, the little girl's voice is like, I don't understand. Why don't you just tell her that you love her? Hey, she's right there.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. Did Did I
No.
upset you?
No, you've done nothing of the sort. You could never.
Oh.
I'm very excited to join and help and burn down Titan's Hall.
Well, walk with me. We can talk a bit.
Okay.
You watch as the ogre just kind of gives her a sly smile as she kind of steps away. She begins to walk, and you now find yourself wandering out among the marketplace. The little girl's voice in your head the whole time. Just don't understand why you don't. She's right there. You haven't.
Because I'm thinking, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it would be a lot to dump on her. She doesn't remember me, and I remember her. So I think that maybe we should talk first, so that I don't just throw that on her. Because what if she thinks that I'm some kind of spy or here to hurt her or something, and it scares her away? I just got her back. I can't drive her away.
So she doesn't know who you are.
No.
Oh. Well, this is going to be a lot harder than it seemed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's not try to kill anybody while we're doing this.
I hadn't thought of that, but thanks.
You watch as Sephora eventually walks right by you, carrying like an armload of stuff in the opposite direction. You eventually see Dara drifting through the crowd. No sign of Merrick at this point, but you're lost. You're just lost in this conversation. And it's a conversation about the Ironwood, the Warrens, when the great part of the city rises above the clouds and the heat during the time of heat to get out of the horrific weather down there. The hopes and dreams of eventually finding a new home for the Ironwood elves. And an hour goes by before you realize it. She just laughs. I just realized I've been talking the whole time, and you haven't said anything to me.
I'm sorry. Just everything you're saying was. I felt like every word was really important, is all.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Well, I could take you to meet some of our own. We are all staying at the Broken Tilt Tavern right around the bend here. We try to keep a low profile. Femur Valley and the Femur Market's always a great place to recruit, but we keep prying eyes from us when we can. But here, it's usually safe.
Okay.
How did you get here? There's not much around here. You usually have to travel by caravan, at the very least.
Combination of being strapped to a raptor and a dinosaur and my feet. And I was in a worm for a little bit, and then I threw myself out of the worm, and then I was in solid rock, and that wasn't great. What?
Well, you said a lot. You seem... Well, anyways.
I do that. I'm sorry. I ramble. You're awfully pretty.
Oh, well, you're quite stunning yourself. And before you even realize it, the two of you have actually wandered into the market area where you can see Dara, Merrick, and Zephora have all collected back to where the stall has been set up. Dara and Alexander are working on a canopy system for the sled. And you're just standing there, and Callan awkwardly looks from you. Is this yours?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I have some friends that would probably be interested in your cause, potentially.
Well, I'd be glad to meet them.
Okay, we don't explain anything. We keep it inside. Just bury it deep. Just keep all those secrets just inside.
Conceal, don't feel, don't let it show.
Conceal, don't feel, don't let it show.
So for Dara, Merrick, and Zafara, you can now see where Gray is. They are awkwardly leading this other drow over towards where all of you are set up. Merrick, you're examining the new armor that you've gotten. Dara, you're helping
Yes. What
out
was it equivalent
a
to again?
chain shirt.
Yes, I'm really disappointed as I arrive back because I feel it's not fitting very well. It's not good for my movement. Basically, I don't have proficiency. Kinda sucks. But can you describe it again for me? I think I have an idea.
Yeah,
Zafora
it's
is back with this headset or not?
Yeah, it's basically raptor skin with a layer of dragonkin scales fashioned to it. And that's where it gets its
Yeah,
kind of
okay, so
rigidity and its higher tier armor.
I think like Zafora is coming back with this new headpiece, and I think I'm gonna ask her who did this to you. Maybe I can ask her to do something to my armor to change its uh, functionality to fit me better.
Okay. Gray, you watch as Merrick and Zafora are in a conversation. Dara's with Alexander. Gray, you lead Callan in amongst your small kind of encampment that you have here.
Hey, Dara, everybody, this is, Callan.
Hello, Callan.
Do we know Callan's
hello,
name?
Merrick.
Have you mentioned Callan at all?
You know that I remembered somebody, but I've not told you
Okay,
her
good.
name.
It's good.
Oh, hello. Are you from Gray's home?
I'm not from her home specifically, but I am from the Ironwood. I left there some years ago. I don't really remember how long ago, but it's been some time.
Well, it's good to meet you. Were you looking to trade for any skins? We have a lot of raptor skins.
Oh, well, Gray here had mentioned that they knew some people that might rally to our cause.
Yeah,
Cause.
you know how we don't like slavers?
We don't. Go on.
Callan explains it so much better than I do.
Well, basically, me and mine are going to attempt to overthrow Wyndham and old Gregor himself and finally bring down the slavers.
Oh, that
We'll look at
sounds
Zafora.
fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna make eye contact with Zafora.
I'm like this.
We're like, I'm like matching her creepy smile. No.
That'd be funny.
I need art of Zephora and Dara and Gray just at this woman.
Well, our numbers are not quite sufficient yet, but I've made some recent agreements with Warlord Suit up in the north.
Yeah, I can make skeletons. I don't know
We
if that's
just-
helpful, but I can.
We just killed some slavers not too long ago, and these people we freed.
Oh,
We were going
I
to
was-
look
I was-
for more.
yeah, I was noticing that this is a slaver sled. One of the Deathwing groups usually use this.
Not
May-
anymore.
Yeah, you may want to consider concealing some of the obvious nature of it.
You mean the heads that are mounted on the sled?
Well, there's that. I mean, Dragonborn are known to rally to Gregor, and yes, what you just... She leans over, Calvin leans over to you, Gray. That one is very creepy.
She is, but she means well most of the time.
Oh,
And you will never find a more competent assassin via poison. The heads, I honestly kind of forgot that they were there.
oh, well,
And we should take this off.
just a thought to consider.
We probably had to remove him for the canopy anyway.
Well, me and my officers are at the Broken Tilt Tavern. You're more than welcome to join us this evening for dinner, and we can get caught up and see if our causes match, as they say. This is one of the few safe places that I know that we can meet relatively out in the open. Although most of my people are camped out in the deep hills.
I would love to talk more. Maybe for dinner
That would be great.
or after dinner.
Yes, just meet me there this evening. I have a few things to take care of. And she stops. She goes, "Huh, you have a considerable amount of equipment. Perhaps we can discuss this over dinner as well."
Absolutely.
What is she wearing, by the way?
She is wearing both snakeskin and raptor skin garments. It's all very casual with beiges and cream colors, very like neutral tones. She's wearing high scaled boots. You can see her purple blackish skin kind of playing off this. There's a pair of windswept goggles that's hanging from her neck. She's got like a small raptor skin satchel strapped under her back. There's a very long two-handed scimitar that starts from her upper shoulder and ends down by her ankle.
Okay.
Well, I hope to see you all this evening. It's a pleasure to meet you, and don't know why, Gray, but it's a specific pleasure to meet you. She just kind of winks at you with her bad eye and kind of disappears back out into the crowd.
As soon as she's like out of view, I just go prone. Just prone.
What's wrong?
Alexander leans over towards you, Dara. There's something wrong with your friend. I don't think she's fully recovered yet.
How much time do you have?
How,
As long as it takes to build this canopy and get our asses out of here, but I get your
you
meaning.
still very tired? What's wrong with you?
Oh god, it's such a long story. It's such a long story.
Well, why don't you tell it to me since, you've tried to kill me several times, might be something different to
When
try.
are you gonna stop holding that over my head? How are you even holding that over my head? You're like so much smaller.
Well,
You
just
know?
tell me the story and we'll forget all about it.
Huh.
Then I'll get to
Ironic.
know you.
Ironic. Forgetting all about it. Yeah, that's a we should have that conversation over dinner or food or something that keeps your hands busy so you don't like stab me or something.
I'm not going to stab you.
Debatable.
Why would Zephora stab you for
I
telling her
don't know.
story?
Have you seen her? I feel like she's capable of stabbing me at any time.
I mean, yes, she's capable of stabbing any of us at any time.
Right.
Well, if I wanted to stab you, I probably would have stabbed you the few times that you tried to stab me. I would have just re-stabbed you.
Re-stabbed.
I have not done that because I like you.
Well, I generally appreciate your company so far. Generally.
No, I appreciate yours.
Yep, that's a long story. We're gonna have that conversation. We should have that conversation probably before we have the conversation about the equipment and joining her cause and everything. But I'll just state for the record, I'm just gonna go with her, just no matter what.
Well, she sounds delightful because she kills slavers, and that's what I want to do.
It is one of her many redeeming qualities.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill a lot of slavers.
I like that. I appreciate that.
I'm glad you got so impassioned about killing slavers, Gray. What brought on that change?
I don't know. I felt like the dagger was controlling me for a while, and then it turned out that something was controlling the spirit in the dagger, and it was just like a whole many layers of puppets and puppet masters. And I feel like that's some kind of analogy
You're
for
rambling. You're nervous.
society or something.
Are you nervous?
I don't know.
And now you're lying.
I don't think that. I think that.
Ooh. This is getting good.
Alexander kind of like
This is-
awkwardly walks away, noticing the tension between Dara and Gray.
Yeah, there's a thing.
Alexander,
over
where are you
there that I
going?
should
Get over here.
That way.
Alexander shakes his
Alexander.
head. No.
Alexander, show me.
He disappears
What's
around the
going on?
corner.
Ah, sometimes I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's interesting.
That's me at all times. You know?
Maybe that's why you're so interesting to me.
Because I'm stupid?
I think I'm having pleasure right now.
Oh.
The way you phrased that.
Yes.
Never mind.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't worry about
Not the word.
That-
I have it.
that's a
I have
shirt.
it written.
That's a shirt. I'm having pleasure
I'm having
right
pleasure.
now.
I'm
Wait,
having
wait,
pleasure
wait.
right now.
No,
I just
that
want
is
to make
correct. It just
Wait.
sounds kind
sure. I
of
have it written down. Wait.
dirty.
Um.
Is all.
Yes.
I
That's-
try to look over and see what all emotions you have.
That's what. Okay, so it has like fear, happy, sad, and it has little definitions. On there.
What do you have the definition of fear as? Is it
Like
rapid?
like the textbook definition of fear,
Ah, okay, fair enough.
like you would get out of a dictionary.
All right. Look, it's not wrong. I would just say that I think that I feel happy right now. Might just sound.
Well, if you're happy, I'm happy.
Okay.
And I'm
Excellent.
confused. What's going on, Gray?
I said we should have that conversation later.
Well, dinner is not too much longer from now, and you
Yep.
said we need to talk about that before we talk to
Yep.
Callan about the cause.
Yep, I did.
Not much time for
I
later.
did.
I have errands to run though, so
You know what? Whatever. Run off again. I don't even care. I'm gonna go help Alexander.
okay. That's remember that.
Turns
attitude.
around, annoyed and frustrated, and just goes back to helping.
What's
See,
that look on your face, Dara? What?
Frustration.
What's that?
It's when you are not happy and you aren't quite sure what to do, and you're not, and
As far as like
it's not-
taking copious notes as you
it's on the
explain it to her.
unpleasant side, but it's not quite anger. Anger is that real big, powerful boiling thing, like that makes you want to kill people sometimes. It's not quite there.
Like when I see slavers.
Yes.
Okay.
Such as when somebody you care about doesn't tell you something that's clearly important and is lying to you. That would be a frustrating moment. I'm saying this loud enough for
Oh
Gray
yeah,
to hear.
I kind of figured.
I
I'm
haven't
trying
lied
to ignore
you.
it, but my passive is too high.
Yeah, way too high.
I didn't lie about anything.
Oh no, you didn't. You've been lovely. Thank you, Sephora.
Oh. Is it Alexander? Do I need to? Should I?
No. Alexander's cool.
No. Oh, all right. Well.
Merrick's cool as well.
Oh. You're saying something without actually saying something.
I'm so
Jeez.
proud of your progress,
Talking
Sephora.
about Gray. There. All
Okay, I'll
right.
give a high five.
Early evening passes by as you guys finish up your activities. Dara, you and Alexander fashion a pretty decent canopy for the sled system. Merrick, you drift over to the hobgoblin lady that Sephora had been dealing with, and she sees you stand in front of her. The two of you have a conversation about altering the vest. She tells you to return in the morning. She will have it done for you. It'll cost you a coin.
Will it a coin? Will it be leftover material?
Possibly. It depends on how much it takes for me to conclude it.
I'm feeling a little off here. Can you make something aesthetically fitting for me with the off material?
I can certainly.
Something that.
I could certainly try.
Okay, that's it. That's all I have to ask for you. Thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow.
You're welcome, strange person. You.
Oh, strange me? Who are you calling strange?
She thinks you're a little weird. I mean, you are weird. No matter how you cut it. I mean,
Who?
Merrick.
Me? Weird?
Merrick's a little weird.
Are you sure that I'm weird? What is? I'm gonna enter into some philosophical thing that no one will ever understand, and at some point I will snap out and go back to the group.
Gotcha. And you even watch the hobgoblin old lady kind of take a second glance after you kind of have almost a conversation with yourself, but loud enough for her to hear, and you just kind of
yes,
disappear back in that direction. Gray, is there any
maybe
last?
Okay. My last thoughts is something to myself, like self-conscious, that I'm really bad with this community, this new world. I'm really lost. I might even express it out loud then.
Gotcha. Gray, is there anything else you want to look for now that you've tracked down Callan?
Good question. Let me look at my inventory right now.
Oh, I'm gonna reveal something very important to her. I'm gonna tell, when I was alive, there was rain. I'm gonna tell her.
Who you
in
tell?
A very prophetic.
Who do you tell that to?
The hobgoblin. As I'm saying,
the
hobgoblin lady. I'm gonna start to talk about my past time also. Something will spur out about those times of green and how it used to be here 500 years ago. And I'm gonna do it. Tell her.
That sounds fascinating. I don't know what any of that means, but as long as it makes you happy and you have coin, okay.
Yes.
And she like awkwardly turns.
Goodbye.
She like awkwardly turns away from you and begins to like deal with another patron. Gray. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually look for a long sword.
Okay. It's not really an issue. You hear from Zephora that there is a dwarven individual with a stall set up. He goes by the name of Broken Jaw. And you find this stall, and he sees your approach, kind of gruffly. Yes, I have long swords, I have short swords, I have two-headed swords. It'll cost you 2 coin.
Do any of them look particularly fancy? And by that, I don't mean that I'm looking for anything magical. I just want something aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I mean, there's one that he brings out to you. He goes, well, this one. And it's incredibly nice. You can see that the pommel is in the shape of a opened mouth skull. There's a hilt to it where there's 2 emblazoned rubies on either end. The sword seems to be made out of a masterclass level of steel. He goes, I do have this one I could sell you for 5 coin.
Done. Sold.
Hands it over to you. Takes your 5 water tokens. If you need anything else, I'll be here till the final day.
Do you have any idea where one could find spider chanclas?
But why would you need those?
Well, you see, I have a spider. His name's Philip. Hey,
It
Philip.
kind of like comes up
How
out
big
on your...
is Philip at this point?
At this point, I mean, he comes out from underneath your garments, and his appendages now are on either side of your shoulder, and his like mandibles can clack in your ear now. He's small to medium now.
He's a good boy. He's a very good boy.
That is a Is that
I swear to you, if you do anything to harm my spider,
No,
I will
no.
harm you.
I know what that is. I understand, but
He's a good boy.
how did you make friends with one of the most deadly spiders on the face of Sinder? You know what that thing's capable of. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, when they're tiny babies, sometimes they're just hungry and you catch them in a cage and then you pet them sometimes. And then sometimes they get squished to death and you revive them, like you do.
Yes, yes. The dwarf is just kind of sigh, but then he kind of looks at the damage that the spider has grown around.
Mhm.
Huh. I could make something for that.
Can you armor my spider?
Well, they get a lot bigger than that. You know this, right?
That's fine.
I could certainly make equipment for his damage that he's sustained, and I could make you future armor that you could put on him if you...
Can you make him 8 tiny daggers?
That sounds terrifying, but kind of cool,
I
too.
know.
Sounds a little cool. So you want
Right?
me to build mounted metal spikes for his remaining
Little
legs?
Mm-hmm.
Come and see me
But
tomorrow.
not all of them, because he still needs to be able to crawl around, and I don't really want to get stabbed in the back a bunch of times when he's cuddling me.
Well, yes, he cuddles you.
He does. Can you...
To me, it just looks like he's on your back, but if you want to describe that as a cuddle, that's
Not
fine.
cuddling. You can tell there's like a little bit of warmth in the embrace,
Excellent. Hey, come and see me tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do.
Done. Sold.
So, eventually you guys all kind of mandibles into your ear. Eventually the four of you all meet back up and begin to wander towards the area that was described as the Broken Tilt Inn.
And that's the second time that I've had to spend money this entire game.
As you make your way into this area, begin to realize that it's a typo. It's a misspell on the sign, on the metal sign that hangs out front. Somebody has crossed out Broken Tooth and is written in Tilt. The actual inn or tavern itself looks to be a massive piece of rock that is leaning and kind of broken at the top, and there's an entry point into it. The four of you go inside. There's a very raucous crowd all about. Looking around, Gray, you see Callan stand up and wave in your direction. You guys begin to approach.
Dara, yeah, you're with our group, like here.
Yeah, everybody was invited.
I'm gonna put a hand on your shoulder to hopefully stay back a step and let everybody else go forward.
Is it later now?
Once everybody walks forward a little bit.
Zafar and Merrick walk by.
She doesn't remember me at all, but that's my wife. Okay, bye.
And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
Perfect.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I like that. That was good. All right, everybody.
See her art. I'm gonna put it in the
Oh,
I don't
that's
know what
awesome.
this is, but maybe you could do the next game.
Oh God.
Happy Friday, everybody. Everything you need to know about us is down
Goodbye.
below. Come and join our Discord. Click on our family. Go visit their creativity. Initiative League, go check them out. They rated us tonight. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
My voice is gone and I'm sorry. I've been fighting it with the weather change between being out in the heat, the AC, and then we had that week of glorious weather and my voice was like, oh, it must be winter. Time to change. And now it's 106 degrees today. So other than that, like I always say, stay safe, be kind, play a game, guys and gals and everybody else. Play a game. It's it's fun. You need it. And we'll be here Sunday night. We'll see you Sunday night. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming out.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.